You don't choose this life chooses you. And once it does, nothing is ever the same. Most people will never know what happens inside an elite special operations unit. They will never feel what it costs. They will never understand what it builds. But you are about to live it. From the first day you raise your hand to the last day you take off the uniform, this is your life, at every rank, in the most demanding military unit on Earth. 10 levels, one journey, no way back. Level 1, the call. You are young, you are restless, you want something more than ordinary. You don't know exactly what you're signing up for. You just know you have to try. You walk into a recruiter's office, you sign your name, and the old version of you starts to disappear. Basic military training begins. The structure is total. The freedom is gone. The days are identical and brutal. You wake before the sun. You run until your legs stop working. You sleep when they tell you to. At first, your ego fights back. You think you're tougher than this. You think you know something. You don't. Within 2 weeks, the military has stripped away everything you thought made you who you are. Your name becomes a number. Your opinion doesn't exist. Your comfort is irrelevant. This is not cruelty. This is construction. They're breaking the civilian out of you. Slowly, deliberately, completely. You stop thinking about what you want. You start thinking about what the mission needs. This is the first death of the self, us, and most people don't survive it mentally. There is a test ahead, a selection process that most people quit on day one. You've heard about it, you've thought about it. Now it's your only focus. Level 2, the pipeline. This is where most stories end. Selection is not a training course. It is a filter. And the filter is designed to find one thing: the man who will not stop. The physical demands are extreme, but physical strength alone will not save you here. Every man who walks in is physically capable. That's the point. Because what breaks people here is not the body, it's the mind. Sleep deprivation, constant uncertainty, no feedback, no encouragement, no explanation. You are given tasks that seem impossible. You are given tasks with no instructions. You are timed. You are watched. You are judged in ways you can't see. You carry heavy things up mountains. You carry heavy things through rivers. You carry them again. Men quit in the night. They leave quietly without fanfare. Their beds are simply empty in the morning. You watch them go. And part of you understands why they made that choice. Because quitting is the most rational thing you could do right now. But you don't quit. Not because you are the strongest. Not because you feel good. But because something in you refuses. You cannot explain it. You don't need to. And then, on a day when you have nothing left, they tell you, you passed. You now know what you're made of. Not because someone told you. Because you proved it to yourself under conditions designed to make you fail. That knowledge never leaves you. Selection was just the door. Behind it is a world you are completely unprepared for. Level 3, the forge. You pass selection. Now the real training begins. If selection tested your will, this phase builds your weapon. You learn to shoot with a precision that feels impossible. You learn close quarters combat in dark rooms, moving with men you are learning to trust with your life. You learn languages, infiltration methods, trauma medicine, demolitions, communications, and survival. Every skill is stacked on another. Every week the standard rises. You make mistakes. You are corrected hard and fast. There is no time for your feelings here. But something is changing in you. You are no longer becoming a soldier. You are becoming a specialist, a professional, a tool built for very specific, very dangerous work. The team around you is becoming your world. You spend more time with these men than with your family. You start to think like them. You start to read each other without words. Trust is built here, not through conversation, through repetition, through showing up, through never being the weak link. You realize that individual greatness is worthless here. The team is everything, the mission is everything. You are a part of something larger than yourself, and that is not a loss. That is the greatest thing you have ever felt. Training ends, real missions begin, and real missions are nothing like training. Level 4, First Blood. Your first real mission is not what you imagined. There is no glory in the moment. There is only the task, the breathing, the silence, and the weight of knowing that everything you do has real consequences. You are the newest man on the team. You say little. You watch everything. You execute your role perfectly because failure here is not a grade. It is a life. You move through environments that feel hostile in every direction. You make decisions in seconds that civilian life would give you months to consider. And then, the moment every operator eventually faces, something goes wrong. Maybe it's the mission. Maybe it's a civilian in a doorway. Maybe it's a teammate who doesn't come home. You carry that weight back with you. And no one outside this unit will ever fully understand what you're carrying. You don't talk about it much. You learn to compartmentalize. You build a wall between what you've seen and what you show the world. You learn the difference between the version of this life they show in movies and the version that actually exists. The real version is quieter, heavier, more human, more deployments, more complexity, more responsibility, and less certainty about who you are becoming. Level 5, the grind. Years pass. You deploy, you return, you deploy again. You are now one of the experienced men in the room. Junior operators watch you the way you once watched others. The missions are more complex now. The targets are higher value. The decisions are harder. The gray areas are everywhere. You are asked to do things that require not just courage, but judgment. And judgment in this environment is one of the heaviest things a human being can carry. You start to notice the cost back home. Relationships fracture under the weight of your absence. You miss things you can never get back. The life you are protecting from out there, you are slowly losing access to from in here. The unit becomes your real family. These men understand what no one else does, but even inside the unit, the pressure never stops. Standards don't relax because you're experienced. They rise because you are expected to lead. You are no longer becoming something. You are something. But the question you start asking quietly, in the dark, after missions, is, at what cost? Your skills are now worth more. The missions will demand more. And the title of leader is approaching whether you want it or not. Level 6, the weight of command. You're now responsible for the men around you, not just yourself, their lives, their performance, their mental state, their families if something goes wrong. Mission planning's yours now. The decisions that used to be handed to you, you now hand to others, and you feel every one of them. Leadership in an elite unit is not about authority. It is about trust. And trust here is paid for with consistency, with sacrifice, and with the willingness to take on more than your share. You are the first one accountable when something fails. You are the last one to take credit when something succeeds. The bureaucracy of the military, the politics, the paperwork, the institutional inertia starts to grind against you. You know what works in the field, but not everything that works in the field is approved by the organization. You learn to navigate. You learn to fight for your men inside the system while protecting them from it. You stop thinking about your own performance. You think only about theirs. Your identity is no longer the operator. It is the leader. That transition is harder than any selection course. The unit will ask more of you, and the deeper you go, the less of the outside world you recognize. Level 7, Invisible Wall. At this level, you cannot talk about what you do. Not to your family, not to your friends, not even to most people inside your own military. The operations are precise, the targets are critical, the intelligence chains are long and fragile. One mistake in communication, in judgment, in timing changes history in ways the public will never know. You carry secrets that most governments don't officially acknowledge. The secrecy is necessary, you understand that, but it builds a wall inside you, a permanent partition between the life you live and the life you perform for everyone else. You become skilled at appearing normal, at sitting at a dinner table and talking about ordinary things while carrying extraordinary weight. The moral questions are sharper at this level. The stakes are higher, and the lines between mission and consequence, between order and conscience, are no longer clean. You develop a kind of philosophical solitude. No one fully knows you, not because you hide from them, but because there is no language for where you have been and what you have done. You exist in a space that has no civilian translation. Age is beginning to matter. The body that once felt indestructible is sending new signals. Level 8, the last mission. You have been here before, many times, but this time is different. Something in you knows it. Maybe it's the injury that took longer to heal than it should have. Maybe it's the look on your child's face when you said goodbye this time. Maybe it's the quiet calculation in your own mind. How many times can a man run this race before the race wins? You execute the mission. You bring your men home. And somewhere on the flight back, without making any announcement, without ceremony, you decide it is time. Not because you failed, but because you succeeded. Because you gave everything this life asked for. And now, another version of service is calling. For the first time in your career, the mission is not ahead of you. It is behind you. And the space in front of you is unfamiliar, enormous, and terrifying in a way combat never was. The uniform comes off, and you find out who you are without it. Level 9, the Quiet War. This is the level no one prepares you for. No training pipeline for this, no team, no mission brief, no structure handed to you from above. You stand in a grocery store and feel completely lost. Not because you can't function, but because the stakes are gone. The silence is too loud. The urgency that once gave your life meaning, it has no outlet here. The transition is brutal in ways that have nothing to do with weakness. You have spent years operating at the absolute limit of human performance. You made decisions under fire that saved lives. And now someone is explaining to you how to format a resume. The gap between who you are and what the civilian world needs from you feels impossible to bridge. Some men find it. They channel the discipline, the leadership, the unbreakable work ethic into new careers, new purpose, new service. They build companies. They mentor young soldiers. They advise governments. They protect communities. Others struggle. The silence opens doors they spent years keeping shut. The weight that was manageable when there was always another mission, it becomes crushing when there isn't. This level is where the bravest battle is fought. And it is fought alone inside, where no one can see it. You begin to separate your identity from your role. You were an operator, but that is not all you are. Building a life beyond the unit is not a retreat. It is the hardest mission you have ever accepted. You begin to understand what you actually left behind and what you carried with you that will never leave. Level 10, the legacy. You are older now. The body has changed, the uniform is gone, but the posture never fully leaves. The eyes still move the same way in a room. Some things are permanent. You look back at the journey, and the thing that surprises you most is not how hard it was. It is how meaningful every moment was, even the ones that cost you, especially those. You think about the men you served with. Some are gone, some you still talk to every week. That brotherhood, forged under conditions no one outside can understand. It is the most real thing you have ever known. You think about the missions, the ones that went right, the ones that didn't, the decisions you made that you would make again, the ones you still revisit in quiet moments. You think about the family that waited, the cost they paid without wearing a uniform, the patience that was never asked for but always required. You don't regret the life, but you carry all of it, the glory and the grief, in equal measure. And now your purpose shifts one final time. You become the keeper of the standard, the mentor, the quiet voice that tells a young soldier, yes, it is possible. Yes, it is worth it. Yes, you are capable of more than you know. Your legacy is not a medal. It is not a citation. It is the man sitting across from you who is about to begin the same journey, shaped, in some small way, by the life you lived and the things you chose to pass on. You understand now that elite service was never about you. It was never about the rank, the missions, or the recognition. It was about something that exists between men who have staked their lives on each other. Something that has no name in ordinary language. Something that, once you've felt it, you spend the rest of your life trying to find again, in different forms, in different places, in the eyes of the next generation. Somewhere right now, a young man is restless. He doesn't know exactly what he's looking for. He just knows he wants something more than ordinary. He walks into a recruiter's office. He signs his name. And the journey begins again. 10 levels. One path. No way back.